Good morning, first graders. I sure will miss you this week. Mr. Shaw and I have put together a lesson for you about apples. We're making apple cider this week with the school, but don't worry, we're gonna save you a bushel of apples so when you get back, we can make apple cider with you. So today I'm gonna read you this book called Apples by Gail Gibbons. And I think you've probably read some Gail Gibbons books before. So here we go. An apple is a fruit. It grows on an apple tree. Apple trees grow in more parts of the world than any other fruit tree. They have been in existence for about 2 million years. The first American colonists brought apple seeds and seedlings with them from England. A seedling is a very small tree. As the colonists moved westward, they brought apple seeds and seedlings with them. Some settlers found that Native American Indians had already brought apple seeds west and had apple trees growing near their villages. Many times during the early 1800s, John Chapman traveled throughout the wilderness of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana, planting apple seeds. Also, he gave seeds and seedlings to the settlers there. He became known as Johnny Appleseed. Some apples are grown at home, but most are grown commercially. A group of apple trees is called, I bet you guys have been there, an apple orchard. Each year, about 250 million bushels of apples are grown in the United States, and about 28 million bushels are grown in Canada. An apple is a firm, crispy, fleshy fruit with a hard center. So, here's an apple. This has not been picked from our apple tree because the apple tree is going dormant for the year. But you've got this part of the apple. This part here is called the skin. Of course, we've got the leaves and the stem. And later on with Mr. Sean, you're going to cut open an apple. And inside the apple, you should see the fleshy fruit part, some seeds, and an apple core, and some seed chambers, which are called carpels. So check out that picture. You guys will be dissecting an apple pretty soon. You should see all those things on the inside of your apple. In the springtime, flowers called apple blossoms begin to bloom on the apple trees. Each blossom has to be pollinated in order for an apple to grow. The blossoms are usually pollinated by insects or by the wind. So here at West Michigan Academy, we only have one apple tree. So we're going to need to plant another apple tree this spring so that our trees can be pollinated and we can have apples. After a while, the blossoms begin to die and apples start to grow. Throughout the warm summer, the little apples grow bigger and bigger. During the late summer, early fall, the apples start to ripen. When the trees are loaded with ripe apples, it's harvest time. Workers pick the apples by hand. And maybe you've gone to an apple orchard and picked some apples. I know I did this year. Some are shipped to stores. Some are used to make apple juice, apple cider, apple jelly, applesauce, and lots of other apple products. I love apple pie. What kind of apple dessert do you guys like? Some are sold in baskets at roadside stands. During the fall, it's fun to go apple picking. Also, there are county fairs. Awards are given to the best looking apples and best tasting apple pies and most delicious applesauce. There's apple cider too, which we'll do with you when you come back. During Halloween, there are caramel apples and candy apples. And back in the old days, sometimes people even bobbed for apples. When winter arrives, the apple tree branches become bare. The trees will become dormant until the next spring. So dormant means alive but not actually growing. So that's what this apple tree and all of our trees around campus and around your house are doing right now. They're in dormancy and they're conserving their energy for next year. If they had to grow leaves all through the winter, there would be no energy left for next year's fall and spring leaves, when the trees will produce a new crop of apples. Some common apples grown in the United States: Rome, McIntosh, Red Delicious, Golden Delicious. Jonathan, Stamen, which I've never seen, Granny Smith, and York. And this apple right here is called a Jana Gold. It's got some gold in it and some red. And you can see right here is a little bit of an insect hole, but we don't worry about that because we just smash them into cider and it won't hurt us. Most apple trees grow to about 20 feet tall. The soil around the trees should be fertilized. The pruning and fertilizing helps produce lots of good apples. And we're gonna plant an apple tree this spring. An apple a day. So there's some directions here on how you can make an apple pie. And then also here's a picture of the cider press we'll be using when you guys get back to school. There are thousands of varieties or kinds of apples. They are nutritious and delicious. Apples, apples, apples. So, the smallest apples are crab apples. They make good apple jelly. I didn't know that. The most popular apple in the world is the Red Delicious. The states of Washington, New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and California produce the most amount of apples. Johnny Appleseed was born in Massachusetts. Some people say when they like something, they say, "You're the apple of my eye." That's silly. One apple, the Arkansas Black, is reddish purple and becomes nearly black by the end of the season. The apple blossom is the state flower of Arkansas and Michigan. There are over 7,500 varieties of apples grown worldwide, and 2,500 varieties grown in the United States. If you store your apples in a cool, dry place, they can last for months. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. And Mr. Sean will be doing a little activity with you here. I can't wait to see you guys back at West Michigan Academy. Sure do miss you. Bye.
Hey, first grade. I hope you enjoyed the story by Miss Holly today. Today what we're going to do is a little science experiment. As Miss Holly told you, there's hundreds of different kinds of apples. And inside the apple, there's a core with a seed chamber in them. So today what we're going to do is we're going to kind of ask ourselves the question, do smaller apples contain fewer seeds? Or we could say, do larger apples have more seeds? So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually dissect these two apples. We're going to actually count how many seeds are in these apples. So first of all, a family member should be helping you out with this part. I'm going to start to dissect this apple. I'm going to cut open the big one first. So here's our large apple, here's our small apple. One would think that a larger apple would have more seeds, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to dissect them. So I'm going to cut this apple open. And what I need to do, as you can tell from the picture Miss Holly showed you, there is the seed chamber right here. Now you can't see all the seeds right now because I have to open it up a little bit more with my knife. So I'm gonna start to dissect this and open up this core, this apple core, the part that we don't eat when we eat an apple. And as you can tell, I'm finding one seed there. Let's see here, if I keep going, there's nothing else in that one. There's no more seeds in there, so most of the seeds must be in on this side. Let's just see about that. Here's one. Here's two. Here's three. I'm gonna keep cutting this side open here because I have a feeling there's some more, but maybe not. So it looks like in this large apple here, we only have 4 seeds. And you can see them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm gonna move those out of the way. And it's time to dissect my tiny apple. So set this over here. Let's get this little, ooh, I just found another one, guys. So 5 seeds. 5 seeds for the large apple. Remember that number, 5 seeds. All right, I'm gonna cut open my little one now. One came off on the knife right there. So there's one. And if I open this up, I can already see a couple right here. So I'll pop those 2 out. There's 2 seeds for the little apple. 3 seeds for the little apple. But there could possibly be some more. So I'm gonna keep going here. Oh, I think I see one. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. 2 more right there. So right now, it's a tie. So there's 5 in the little, but we still have this piece right here that we have to dissect. So let's just keep going here on it. Oh, goodness. That makes 6. There's still another one in there. 7. I'm gonna go a little bit further on this one just to make sure that there's nothing else trapped in the little seed chamber here. Nope, it fell. Let me grab that. Check out in here. I think I see one. Yep, I do. Look at this. Cut it open here. Got another. Oh, I got 2 more right there. So, it looks like, here's our little apple. Here's our big apple. So it looks like we have, for the small apple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seeds. I can maybe line those up so you can see them a little bit better here. Nine seeds for the little apple, and only 5 seeds for the large apple. So, again, I thought because it was a larger apple, it would have more room for more seeds. But it turns out that's not necessarily always true. This small apple actually had more seeds than the large. So, as Miss Holly told you, if you could dissect an apple, maybe tell us if it's big or small, and then send those numbers of seeds to Miss Holly, I'm gonna create a graph for you guys and send it back so we can compare all of our seed data. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.